Hi everyone, Kyle here with another video. This time it will be a quick video, an update for our Path of Exile 2 build. We've been playing a pretty cool, actually, Whirling Assault build that is entirely my own creation. I did have a bit of a look and I couldn't see any updated builds for this skill. So it's using a staff with Whirling Assault, an Invoker Monk, and Staggering Palm. And the whole idea is you spin, you get them heavy, stun primed, and then you smack them. When you see the orb on them, you hit them with the Staggering Palm. And when you do that, you gain a buff from the Staggering Palm, which essentially gives you a bit more damage and increased crit by 7%, and it's night and day when you have the actual like buff compared to when you don't. And you fire out projectiles as well, like forked projectiles. But if I go ahead and jump us into the game, and I'll just quickly change my cam so you can see me a bit better. So this is the main skill that you use. I like to call it Cyclone Light. And then you have a little, it doesn't look like much just now, but a little palm skill. And it's literally a 2-button build. I'll just load up the tree. We'll start off with the Ascendancy tree. Initially, I did come down here for the lightning effects, and I was going to go this way, over here, instead of up here. But one of our viewers, Turbo, kind of advised me to look into this route a little bit more, and it's worth it. So we are a crit build, so we do come down here, and I did have these two on, but I respect these 2 points and these 2 points to come up here to gain the extra evasion, the extra spirit, more evasion, and this is huge for us. We gain the some crit here and crit here, which is this one's kind of huge. Then this one and this one. This is very cool for our build because this actually fires out projectiles and just extra damage, really. If you look at the tree, you can see that we've gone straight up here. Ideally, we will pick these two up for a little bit extra crit damage. We'll come up here and up here. Now, for leveling, I did use, I believe it is Falling Thunder with the... Let's see, I can never remember these two. We did use... It was Falling Thunder and Killing Palm for leveling. You can use whatever you want to level as always, but we did come up here and get the crit hit chance, and we came down here and we got a little bit of mana leech because we were struggling for mana until quite recently in the build, and you want these ones here to help with the mana problems, and in here to get some more damage as soon as possible. The tree is basically just stacking damage upon damage. Came up here eventually to get the... Once we hit 41, we came up here to get the crit hit damage and the chance. We will be picking these nodes up. And we did initially have the days stuff on, but like here and here, but we ended up taking them off because we just weren't doing days anywhere in the build, where it's purely fizz and with a little bit of elemental damage in there. Came down this way. Down here. Pick up some stun build up. More attack damage here. This one's for if the enemy's on critical damage and stuff, if the enemy's on full life. We weren't gonna initially come this way. We were planning on coming up this way and then down here. But it just made more sense to come down here. Come up here. Get the crit stuff on the staff. We don't use charges as of yet in the build, so we haven't picked that one. We come up here. Get some more stun build up and knock back. And we came down this way and we got the crit, some more crit hit chance. And this, I believe, is the last of the crit hit chance that we'll be getting on the tree. One of the things that we talked about with Turbo was evasion and coming along this way. Because of our top that we got from one of our channel mods, Connor, because the amount of evasion on that, it is huge for us to get this node. And that essentially doubles that nearly 2k evasion that we have there. And we will be coming up this way, as you can see we've started, and we will be getting this one as well, just for that little bit extra. Because with this node on the ascendancy, basically it makes these equal, and this is huge because you do get hit quite a bit with it being a melee build. You have to be right in the enemy's face. For your resistances, I would say it's basically just the go-to. Try and get them above 75. Ideally, you want about 135, I believe. It is a dex int build, but you do want more dex than int, I believe. For the level 20 gems, this is what I've been going off of. Liberal spirit gems, that's a spirit gem, but level 80, I believe it's like 200 something you're gonna need. 205, I'm thinking, something like that. As for our gear, it's all rares. I'll go over it real quick just now for you, and then I'll quickly cover the gem sockets and stuff that you need. So the gear, and I'll put the gems up. This is a new stuff I've just gotten. You ideally want to have your plus to level of all melee skills as high as you can get it, which is 7. And I did have life leech on the stuff as well, and you want to get crit hit chance on there as well. I can actually show you real quick the weapon that I was using. I was using this one before it, and then this one before that. And even with having 3 levels missing on the melee skills there, it's still doing an extra amount of damage, and this is actually better for us than what we had. This gear is still very much work in progress, and I believe I'm at the point now where you're looking at the divine orb level gear. This cost me a divine. Actually, this one I got lucky at, I believe. Yeah, I got lucky with this one. I picked this one up. This one cost a divine, and this one cost a divine. This ring I managed to make myself. Can still be better with a better life roll and getting rid of the chaos damage for something else. The gloves, getting life leech and mana leech. You do need mana leech somewhere in the build, because like even with inspiration support and Whirling Assault, it still takes up, what's that, 156 mana, so per use. Our belt, a little bit armor, some life, and some evasion. Our boots, pretty much what you'd expect. Same for this. And our amulet, we could use a better life roll on that, but yeah, that's pretty much what we have. And we made this. We picked it up with 22 fire on it, and we just basically qualityed it and chucked in some read it, and then chucked in some exalts until we got there, and then we got lucky on the corruption with the second socket. And we put a couple of soul cores in. For the gems, the actual gem sockets, Whirling Assault is currently level 19 for us, but we have it up to level 23 just now. We are going with Martial Temple, Heft for more maximum fizz damage. Close combat, because you're right in the enemy's face, so it makes sense to use that. Inspiration is a big one, because without this, if I take this off, you can see we go up to 222 mana per use. With that on, it takes us down to 156, which is huge. Ambush. That's down for this. You can probably find better ones to go in, but here's our stats just now for this. You can go over this later if you want. You can just pause it. For Shattering Palm, skill effect duration, because your initial buff for Staggering Palm will be about 6 to 8 seconds, so you do want to get some more skill effective increase if you can. Support skills break enemy heavy armor. You do heavy stun all the time, so that's makes sense to have that on. With our crit hits, that's huge. This makes you so instead of just firing out a single projectile every time, you fire out one. You fire out three, sorry. So that's worth the downsides. More projectile speed and more damage versus hits. For aura buffs, I've got vulnerability in a blasphemy aura with heightened curse and magnified effect. Overwhelming presence, if I can say it properly, with accuracy rate, with position in there. Wind Dancer to help with our evasion, and then just those two. What I'm going to quickly do is I'm currently doing T14 maps, so I will quickly just jump into one and show you what it's like real quick. So it's been running really nicely. You can see we're currently sitting at just under 2.3k life with a little bit of energy shield, and our mana is 892, and we do have a little tiny bit of spare spirit, so we could probably work something else into the build, but kind of don't want to be doing the Delirium Mirror. Well, we'll take that anyway. Let's see.
Good night.
So the whole idea is you want to basically stagger the enemies if you can. There we go. And now we've got the buff, and you'll see the difference. Now, the build can be squishy at times, depending on what mods you run on the maps. And we've lost the buff again. The main thing is getting the buff as soon as you can, and it does seem to have a bit of a glitch where it stands still every so often. But I don't know if that's just down to how I play it, or if there's a problem with the skill or what, but yeah. It's been pretty enjoyable to play so far, and we are currently level 87. And we still have a long ways to go that we can improve on this with, but see there, he's done the standing still thing that he's been doing. And sometimes though, when he does the standing still thing, that's the little yellow orb that the enemies will get on them. And it's not by any means a zoomy build, but it does really well on crowd control. And when you get to boss fights, man, you just chunk the enemies' health down. Get them about almost like I'd say 95% stunned, and then you just hit them with the Staggering Palm and go to town on them, and it takes about a second to take them down. I haven't tried the pinnacle bosses yet, mainly because I've not gotten to that content, but it is really quite fun to play so far. I basically just wanted a Cyclone like build that I could use, because as we all know, Cyclone isn't in the game yet. And I'd never tried the Fizz, and right.
Good night.
You see the difference with the crits and the broken armor and stuff. So that is essentially my Invoker Monk, Whirling Assault and Staggering Palm build. It's very much a work in progress, and there probably will be much better builds out there, but if you want something simple, that's a 2-button press, you've got this one. If there's any feedback you have for me, or any advice on where to take the build, or what skill sockets to use, like skill gems to use, or what possible gear improvements, I'm always open to hearing advice and constructive criticism, so please feel free to leave comments in the window, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It always helps the channel in a huge way when people do. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the build. Bye. See you in the next one.